Whoa,
got.
whoa, whoa, wait. We're gonna get to that, but one step at a time. You're such a good teacher that I have, just from what your answer, I already have 3 questions. So I'm going to try to limit myself. But one thing that is fantastic in what you're explaining is that, and I think that's the key word, you know, I'm an SEO person, is everything is about trust. Because listen, when the first menu by John Lass, I think, was created, the whole system is based on trust today. If tomorrow we're rushing at the bank, getting all our economy on the bank system can like be crushed down. That's what happened in 1929. And I feel that's exactly the same way here, except that, and that's tremendous, you explained it so well, that in the real flat membership system, you pay once for good. Once it's paid, either you get value or you don't, but you can be disappointed. The great thing, and as you know, I'm on certain NFTs community, I don't know how to call them, but I don't even conceive to ask my money back now. Why? Because of this trust things, I feel that I belong. You know, I feel that I have connections, and that even if I don't have the great content I might expect on some regular membership, I have connections with other people. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that, from now, I don't know how it's going to evolve, but I think that's what do you think of this explanation? Do you think it's a great, if it's a good way to explain the difference between the two economy, if I may?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that sense of connection and that sense of co-ownership, where once you're in this whole economy, you're in this community where you're rewarded for being engaged, you're rewarded for participating, and you gain a lot of value just from making other connections. Like typically in a mastermind group, you'll go in there and there's one person that kind of leads the group. You get most of your information from that person. In a lot of these communities, you'll go in because one particular person drew you in, but you'll make so many connections and have so many other opportunities that come out of the networking that goes on in that group, because everyone feels like they want to participate. They don't feel obligated to participate. They
That's
want to
exactly.
contribute. They want to see the community grow and do well because they're putting their time in, they're investing their time, and they invested some money to get into this community initially. So they feel that sense of ownership, that sense of pride, of belonging, and it really creates a very strong loyalty within community members that I haven't seen in any other type of paid monthly membership opportunities.
This is phenomenal. One thing to wrap this up, and then we're switching to other topics and words to define and to understand. At the end of the day, what blockchain enabled is to create our own money, correct? Can we summarize it at this way, at this level? Is that correct to say that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things for marketing and for content creators that blockchain really enables is this microeconomy idea. Now, there's a lot of other things that blockchain does very well from a transparency perspective.
Tell us. Yeah, tell us.
Um, that idea that you put your information out there publicly on the blockchain for everyone to see really creates an amazing implied trust. So if a company is going to if you want to say, I only want to buy goods from a company that I know harvests sustainable goods. If a company puts their entire supply chain out on a public blockchain where anybody can go and see the data, they can see publicly exactly what a company is doing from start to finish. So that just gives you an incredible sense of trust in this company, that they're not trying to do anything secretly or hide anything. So you can actually go and legitimately see exactly what opportunities they've leveraged and where they get their goods.
But how do we know that? How do we know? Technically, you're going on a website called blockchain and you write all your information. How do they control what you said is true and it's not true? Sorry if it's so beginners, like baby questions again. I'm sorry for that, but it's like,
no, not at all. So the blockchain isn't owned by any particular company. It's a not a centralized, housed on a particular server that's owned by a company. It's out on a bunch of different public computers, a bunch of different public networks. So it's this peer-to-peer network that houses the blockchain. And so if a company is putting their supply chain data up on the blockchain to, be able to get certifications for particular, ESG requirements that they have from the government, it's like with anything. They can put up the information that they want to put up and share. But all of that information, if several different companies, like if you're buying a particular good from someone and they also put their supply chain information up on the blockchain, then you
Mhm.
can trace back all the way through where a particular product came from, how it was sourced. So it just makes it much more transparent for everyone to kind of see all the process back to the beginning. Estonia converted most of their government systems over to the blockchain back in 2007. And so now it's much easier for a user to be able to go in and you can do all your taxes in like 5 minutes because all the information is out there publicly on the blockchain, not necessarily connected to your personal information. So someone else couldn't go and see personal information about you.
Mhm.
But you have the access keys, you have the digital identification keys to be able to get access to that data. So you can put your keys in when it's time to fill out your taxes, and your taxes are done in 5 minutes. Or if you need to switch your medical records from one hospital to another hospital, you don't have to call somebody or reach
Right,
out
that's
to a
amazing.
doctor to have your records transferred. You just go into your digital ID and you switch who has access to which data. So if we could control our data like that, instead of having Twitter or Facebook controlling our user data, then that would give us much better sense of security, personal identification management. And those ideas all tie into opportunities for CRM systems and personalization down the road. So blockchain can do a lot more than just create these microeconomies, but microeconomies are a fantastic tool that we can start using as marketers and content creators.
So basically, since I would have tons of other questions, but I would like to stay focused on marketing because it's a little bit my topic, you know. So basically, among all the opportunities that blockchain can brings, one of them being this transparency that is related to marketing also, because one of the question, if I make a digression, is like, how will platforms such as Twitter, Google, Facebook are gonna manage that, because they're gonna lose control on some stuff. If we're all moving to blockchain, they're out of business. Not tomorrow, but they could be technically. So that would be interesting to understand, how will they do this switch. I know that Facebook tried to take the lead on that, obviously. I'm not sure it's going to really happen, but in terms of marketing, it was a good move.